Welcome back to Coaches on the Beach. And indoor season is right around the corner, so we decided to lean into that, and we have Michael Henchy joining us, who is the assistant coach from the reigning national championships, the Penn State University Nittany Lions, a program that is very close to my heart, so this is going to be a fun one for me. Welcome to the show, Michael.
Thank you. Yeah, and back in our day, we were some rivals, actually.
Yeah. It made me so happy to watch you win a national championship, knowing that you're going to have to wear Penn State on your ring finger for a really long time.
Yeah, forever.
Yeah. So just for the folks that maybe don't know a ton, you're from the Midwest, but you played at Ohio State?
I'm from the West Coast. I'm from Southern California, and I knew I was going to go far for school and ended up loving my visit to Ohio State. And yeah, I went there. I've kind of been Midwest or East Coast since then.
Okay. After you played at Ohio State, did you guys have some success while you were there? Any big
No,
notable achievements?
no, we were actually kind of bad my 4 years. I mean, we kind of valleyed out and then started upwards toward the next peak. They won the national championship the year before I got there. So I was all hype going in, and then lost in the conference final my freshman year, lost in the conference quarterfinal at home my next year, conference quarterfinal on the road the next year, and then back to conference semifinal on the road to eventual national champion Loyola Chicago that year. So we were a little bit better, just outmatched. And then the year after I graduated, they won the national championship and proceeded to go back to back. So I was there to mind the gap and, you know, exist there, but I had a great time. Met my wife while I was there, and you make an impact one way or another. So I like to think that those later two, you play some sort of a role in developing at least those younger guys' mindsets or how they train, how they compete. And then when it's their turn, obviously it's theirs, and they made it what it is. But you have a role in their story, so
Yeah.
got a piece of something that way.
And there's some great redemption to it too, right? Because you went and played professionally a little bit, but then came back to your alma mater and coached, and you guys had some success then, right?
Yeah, so I got to hop on the back-to-back after I graduated as a volunteer. Really just testing out the coaching thing. I wasn't totally sold that I was going to coach, and worked really closely with Kevin Birch, who's now the head men's coach at Ohio State. Pete Hansen was still there, Tim Embaugh were still there, and really let me fully engage with the team. And I moved back in with my now wife, girlfriend at the time, who had just gotten her own apartment in Columbus, and she was nice enough to let me volunteer my time versus go find a job to help pay all the bills right down the middle. So we did that for like 3 years, where she was footing everything and believed in me and coaching and what it could be. So very fortunate on a lot of aspects, actually, of brought me here and just the things that I've gotten to do along the way.
I love that you brought up Kevin Birch in that sequence, because he went on a real hot streak for a while.
Mm-hmm.
I think it was, 6 national championships in 7 years?
7, actually.
Seven national championships in 7 years? That was unprecedented. He went, where was he at in California?
Yeah, so he started, his first one was as a student still at Ohio State, did a grad student at Springfield College with the men, then went to Irvine, won one with the men, back to Springfield after Irvine, won another one with the men, came to Penn State, won one with the women, and then came back to Ohio State as a full-time assistant and won 2 more.
Just crazy.
So I might have either miscounted or added another, but yeah, it was a gnarly run. So well earned. I mean, he's a great coach, even better person. So that's one where it was. I think anybody knew he's easy to root for. He would never tell you that about his own career. So
well, we're glad guys like you guys can do that for us. You mentioned your time, or you mentioned Springfield College, and you went to Springfield as well, right? That's a historic men's program. Like, what makes you want to go be a part of that coaching tree and do that while being at your alma mater and enjoying that experience as well?
To be honest, lack of knowing what I was going to do next a little bit. So when I finished playing, I had injured my back a little bit, and I had the opportunity to go there right out of college. My assistant Sean Byron at the time, he's now the head coach at Marist, is good friends with Charlie Sullivan, who's the head coach at Springfield for the men. Floated out this GA opportunity. I was like, nah, I'm going to go play. Thanks. And then when I decided I was done, I hit him back and said, hey, is that still something I can do? And he's like, yeah, but you got to wait. That's a 2-year program. So the person basically that he brought in is got to finish his second year, but hey, I'll take you in a year. And that's kind of where I ended up landing with volunteering back at Ohio State. In the meantime, obviously it worked out. We won a national championship and then got to go to Springfield. I didn't know much about Charlie. I honestly didn't know too much about the program. Like I knew he'd had success, but like in my head, I don't know. I wasn't well versed in a lot of volleyball history or legacy across the board. I was kind of like knew my window a little bit ahead of it. Knew some of Olympic history, but not a whole lot. And then get there, I'm like, all right, this guy, I need to first understand him, but like he's got a lot of experience, a lot of knowledge I can soak in here. And he's been by far like he's my first call if anything career related comes up. Anything even like volleyball, like bouncing ideas. Like he's got a really good mind for how to train, how to engage with players. He's a sports psychology background. Fell into volleyball on a coin flip, teaching internationally in Europe. So his brain it doesn't work like a person who was trained and taught volleyball as a player for 8-10 years and then switched to coach. He's always had a good outside view and an outside lens, and he's held to it. He hasn't slowly conformed to how other people want him to coach. He's like he sees the pathway and he believes in it more than anything, and that belief is something that's really contagious. And if nothing else, that's one of the things that I've taken on is that you can have any variation of how you want your systems to run and players to interact, but like your level of belief and your conviction is going to be impossible to hide. And the stronger you are in those beliefs and convictions, and then you can start finding proof that those things are working or have worked, your team is going to take off. That there isn't like a right way in a lot of these senses of how we play sports or design drills or whatever it is, but the degree to which you believe it's going to work is going to feed into people. And it's going to feed across each other. And so that's something he does unbelievably well.
The buy-in factor, getting folks to buy in and get after it. Well, I would say it's proven to be a strong jumping off point for coaching careers. People seem to leave Springfield and decide they still want to keep coaching volleyball. Now, you headed to JMU then, or how's my time?
No, I went to American University.
American.
Yep. I was there for really 2 seasons because it was COVID. So it was one real season, a COVID season, and then kind of going into what would have been our third and second real season, got approached with the JMU job. So yeah, I was very fortunate. Barry was another great mentor. He passed. He had cancer and died now a little over 2 years ago. But another one of those like incredible humans, purely unique, thought differently than everybody else, would do a lot for a lot of people, and was very, very charitable, very giving with his ideas and his opportunities.
Barry's actually one of the coaches that helped me get my start into coaching volleyball.
How'd that come about?
He was good friends with Pav, and he was good friends with Peter Russell, and Peter was going down to work American camps, and going into my senior year, I called Barry and I was like, hey, can I come down and work your camps? Like, I know you've never met me. Here are my references. Like, give them a call. I know you know them. And then I went down there. I got in with him, and then Corey, my brother, got in with him, and he helped out with the club then. Yeah.
That's funny.
But
Barry, one of the winningest coaches of all time in NCAA volleyball history, right? So I imagine you had to learn some golden nuggets. What would you say is the big sticking point for you coming from American and then jumping over to JMU? What did you take with you from that time?
Yeah, I mean, I think I came in with so many ideas. Like I would have loved to be on a fly on the wall now and listen to myself talk then, because I think I thought I knew so much, and I did. I had a lot of information, but like I think I was more certain that of certain things versus now where I'm like, yeah, there's a lot of different ways we can approach it. Let's see what lands with the group. I had like, now we should do culture manual and it looks like this, and these are our like laws, and here's how we're gonna feed by. And Barry was so much of a, yeah, all right, go ahead. You go try it. And he had that like easygoingness of there's a lot he already knew there's a lot of ways that this can be done. Like let's let people who have conviction and have passion run with it, from players to coaches to, facility people. And it was always like, hey, if you're passionate about it, go for it. Like I may not like fully jump in behind you. I'm going to see how it works out, but be there. But I think, I mean, there's still a lot of like Barryisms that sit in my head. Like I always think he used to tell the players all the time, play fast, but not in a hurry. And there was some truth to that now that I think of. Like, yeah, you want to play with speed, you want to move quickly, but there's an easy, I don't know. He had a lot of, I guess to shorten it, sayings like that where it was simple and it wasn't saying much, but if you actually thought about it, was like, yeah, there's a difference between moving fast and when you're moving in a hurry. You're going to leave your keys behind, you're going to spill something, whatever it is. There's a different mindset to it. But I mean, he was just big on playing volleyball, using your eyes, getting your eyes across the net.
Did he ever teach you the
Recruiting
coaching arm swing?
No, but that was part of my interview. He asked me if I could like hit a down ball. I was
Yeah.
like, yeah, I'm pretty sure I can hit a down ball. He's like, could you hit somebody like in the knee pad? I was like, give me 3 tries, sure. And that was enough. Um,
He was
but
always on me about my coaching arm swing. It was too long for him. It took too much time.
yeah, yeah. But I mean, he definitely was brilliant. His mindset a lot of times, like, why not? And
Yeah.
would push back with administration, but he'd been there forever. So he had a way about bringing it up. He wasn't sticking thorns in people's sides to get his way. It was more like, well, let's not just say no to say no. How can we figure out how to make something work? Because there's good in it, and it might be, hey, we can make money. It might be, it does good for a large number of kids, but he wasn't just going to take no because somebody didn't want to put in some legwork to figure out how to make something work.
Yeah. What is it that sparked the decision to go to JMU after American? So you spent a couple of years there. DC during COVID probably was not the easiest spot in the world to live.
Yeah.
What kind of sparked the move over to Harrisonburg?
Yeah. I honestly didn't think I was going to leave. I didn't think I was going to leave anywhere that I've left except for Springfield because it's a grad assistant program. But yeah, Lauren and I ran into each other basically the first tournament out after COVID, and she was hiring for actually a friend of mine and mentioned it. It was like, let me know if you like think of anybody. She tells it that I said like, hey, you could ask me. I don't remember saying that, but she texted me basically on our drive home, and my wife was in with me in Columbus because that's where her family is. So we're driving home. And I was like, oh, I just got this text for this job at JMU, and literally we spat out a number. I was like, all right, if it's this salary range or bigger, like we'll talk, we'll consider it. And she was doing great. She was making a bunch of money in sales in DC. Like there was no like urgency for more money or anything, but when I got on with Lauren, it was like, okay, I got an associate head coach title. You'll be the recruiting coordinator. It was a pay raise. It was going to be decrease in cost of living. And so it was a little bit, and she sold it well. Like her previous assistants had gone on to other Power Five assistant coaching jobs, and we're still either at them or had moved around, and we're doing well essentially. Like, hey, you can come here. This is going to get you higher. And so for me, it was like, okay, well, that is a goal. Like I still have that goal of wanting to at least try myself as a head coach, and part of that is gaining more experience, diversifying, more competitive. I think everybody has a similar view of, hey, if you've dealt in a more competitive environment, that your opportunities open up into where your next move can be, because there's just people are willing to trust your experience more than trust your word on an interview. And so naturally I was like, okay, I should take this. And um, our first our first visit though, we drive into town again. You're saying from DC to Harrisonburg, Virginia, and my wife is like, we're not we're not doing this. Like we're not coming here. It's like rainy and we pull off and it's like any off the highway town. This part of town was like all of the chain restaurants and like gas stations, like not really much character to it. We found out later there's some goodies tucked in there. And it's just gray and dreary. And we go downtown, drive through campus when we leave. And she's like, very uncertain. But the people that we met were all very nice, very welcoming. And she's like, well, that's a good sign. And they're talking highly of it. Eventually just decided to jump and go. And, things worked out really well.
Yeah.
Again, it was in tears calling Barry and Bonnie, telling them that I was going to make the move. And they're like, hey, guys, guess what? That's fine. Like that's how these things go. They were ready for it and had done it so many times. And I mean, we owe Bonnie a visit now actually, but we just visited JMU this past weekend and saw those people. So I guess non sequitur, but going into a little bit of an important thing for me in each of these spots is it's almost exclusively been people based. Once the door opens of, okay, is this somewhere that kind of makes sense, career trajectory? Does it get me closer to what I think it still is my end goal of being a head coach? Okay, yes, then it's all people. Like who you work for, who you work around are going to make or break your experience. And so if it's miserable but you're winning, you might be able to like grit your teeth and say, okay, I can hold on until I can get a new job. And if it's miserable and you're losing, you might get out of the profession. And if you're with good people and you're losing, you can at least, commiserate together and enjoy that. And maybe you find some hope because you're with some people you enjoy. And so, okay, maybe we can figure this out together and
I've been in that
get
boat.
somewhere better. So exactly.
I gotta say, we'll take your word for that. I'm not sure you've been anywhere that's lost very often. Winning seems to follow, or you seem to be at winning spots. You guys had a lot of success at JMU. I try not to say too many good things about them because they are now our conference rivals. So I can't say anything nice about them, but Lauren is pretty great and always been very welcoming. So you go there, you guys do some winning, you have a lot of success. Penn State, I guess, has a bit of a history as a volleyball program.
I found out, once I got here.
You said you're not a big history buff, so what made you kind of like, all right, did you and Katie talk? How did this whole thing get going?
Out of the blue, like the job had been posted over a month, and it was one where like, hey, you see it on Volley Talk or on the NCAA, and it's like it's open, but somebody's in that job. It just hasn't, whatever, things are being worked out. And it's like we're on spring break, we're in Columbus with my wife's family. I'm like using that as a launch pad for recruiting for a couple tournaments, and Lauren calls me and says, hey, Katie wants to call you about Penn State, are you okay with that? It's like what? Sure. I mean, I'll take, I'm not gonna say no to the call, but hey, look, I don't think I'm gonna go. I'm not looking to leave. And she's like, all right, that sounds great, whatever, I'll tell you. Call me after, tell me how it goes. So I set up a call and like we talked for, I don't know, hour and a half, and it was just like casual. Like we talked a little bit of volleyball, but it was a lot of just getting to know each other. And maybe 2 days later after that, she's like, hey, can you come up on campus, and love to have you here and meet the team, meet some people and be a part of that. And I'm still thinking at this time, like there's a Penn State or somewhere. Like there's so many good Penn State alums and coaches that this is going to one of them. And, I've been places where like they have to have 3 people come on campus for an interview. So that's me. I'm a drive-in. I'm a 3-hour drive. It doesn't hurt. Like we got along. So maybe she's like, it'll be a good hang. And so literally driving up, telling my wife, like, I don't think I'm going to get this, but good interview experience, I had missed out on jobs the year before. So I'm like, okay, doesn't hurt. It's a drive. At this point too, we have a 1-year-old. So I'm like, not ideal to move and then, come up. And by the time I left campus, I'm like leaving. I call my wife to tell her how things are going. I was like, I might actually get this job. Like that felt like a real interview. And like, we were talking about things that like you would talk about, like if you might get the job. I was like, all right, well, what do we want to say? And she was like, well, she'd only been here. So her backstory, she was a cheerleader at Ohio State. She came for one away game, cheered during the whiteout, but they drive in from what is that? The West. They're through fields to the football stadium and then out through fields. Like she'd never seen the cooler parts of State College or that there's like a whole city here. So she's like, all right, well, we're not in the middle of nowhere, but it's not going to be that much more remote than where we are. So I guess I can handle it. I can deal with it because she was born and raised a Buckeye, but she knew Penn State volleyball and the legacy that it had, and she hadn't talked to Katie yet, but she trusted my opinion of Katie and Brian and Megan and Tina at the time.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, no, I think like family wise we'll get along really well. And so when she did call an offer, we were ready to go and ready to say yes and pack up our things. And it was a whirlwind from there because we went on a foreign trip in May. We bought a house, closed on it June 3rd. Then you're recruiting, and then it's camps, and then it's season, and then Katie's diagnosed with breast cancer, and we're going hyper speed through Big Ten by the end of it. We're like, all right, we're hosting. This season's gone better than it possibly could have gone. As soon as we beat Creighton, we're like, all right, like no matter what, this season's a win. And then you go to the Final Four, and all that magic happens, and you're sitting here like, I don't know that I fully engage with, the whole start to finish journey of myself, but really even just like the season and what the season actually was.
Yeah. I mean, you got to talk. Winning follows. You won a lot of games. This season had to be kind of special.
Mm-hmm.
And obviously there's an emotional piece to it. I have to ask, you guys are down 2-0 to Nebraska.
Mm-hmm.
Right. You're on the doorstep of like, hey, that was a really good season. Nebraska's got match point twice, I think.
Yeah.
Something like that. As a coach, the emotions of this time, right? Katie's obviously, you guys have had an incredible year from an off the court human being family perspective.
Mm-hmm.
What are you saying in that timeout? Is it an emotional conversation? Is it a strategic conversation? How does that timeout go? Down 2 sets, staring the end of the season in the face.
Yeah, so I think we get that question of down 2 sets, the locker room. And I think the girls have done a good job in their response of like they were a little too cerebral. They were overthinking some of the stuff that maybe we're giving them too much or overthinking it themselves and not just playing simple. I remember thinking though, it was the same sort of narrative as when we'd play them at home. In that when we lost the second set and we lost kind of big, we'd made like 8 or 9 attacking errors. And that was really the uncharacteristic element of each of those sets. And you could look at those box scores and I think they were similar. Like that first set was a deuce set, but we had a lot of hitting errors. We just killed the ball well as well. And second set, same thing. And so it was like kind of the same message. Hey, we did this. Like, yeah, we're down 2 before we were split, but these things are manageable. We just need to not take, our home run swings from the 10-foot line. If we're way off, let's maybe keep balls high, put them into corners, do different things. But really, let's setters get the ball a little tighter, and so we can keep teeing off. Because when it's tighter, we're effective. We're scoring off the block, and so it wasn't overly overly emotional. And then, third set's a deuce set. They hit a ball out of bounds to end that set, but all right, that's uncontrollable for our side. And then the 4th set, though, that's the one where at some point in the 4th set, I can't remember. Again, this is just bad emotional clouding of memories, but whether Megan and I actually said something to each other or we just talked about it after, but we were like, well, that was a good season. Like there was a moment we had on the bench of like, good run. We fought, we got at least one back. We didn't get swept. And then to go on the run that we did. There was a moment too for Izzy just being a freshman on that stage. I think she dumped 2 balls out of bounds, something like that. Had 2 plays where she was just embarrassed / frustrated. And I think everybody on the team talked to her at some point. Like she needed to be left alone, but she went back to serve and she was the one that kind of went on a run to spark us and get us back into it. But yeah, that was when we won that fourth set, I think the energy had fully flipped.
Yeah. I mean, there was no doubt in the fifth
They had
from
their foot
everybody
on their
watching.
necks.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And then once you won the fifth, it was like, well, we know who the national champions are. This is exciting.
a little bit. Yeah,
Especially when Anna was hurt. Like once you saw
that,
Anna go down, it was kind of like, man.
that was really unfortunate, and I think that match would have been, a little more electric with her in it, obviously, with the caliber of player that she is. But to give credit on Peterson, who came in place, she played
Yeah.
great. Like she did amazing in the semi to get them to the final, and she played really solid through the final too. So kudos to her and what she did for them. And to be honest, I think our standpoint going into it, like we knew she obviously had left. We didn't know she was going to play. We were preparing for her to play.
Yeah.
And from our home contest versus her, we had a pretty good idea of, what we could do to potentially contain her a little bit. And you never know. She's home gym, like hometown,
Yeah.
home
There's a
crowd.
lot.
Like there's a lot that could have gone differently, but um, I think there was still an air with her, without her after that semifinal of nothing's going to get in our way right now.
Yeah. And if you're somebody that has listened volleyball, watched volleyball, like I've probably gotten chills 3 times during this because you think about what this season meant, not just to you guys as a group, but to our sport as a whole. I mean, national championship on ESPN, first time 2 female head coaches go at it. First time a female head coach is going to win it. The off the court story of Penn State, Louisville having a chance to do it at home. I can only imagine what the national championship hangover, quote unquote, might feel like right now. How are you guys preparing for the 2025 season? And ultimately, I would imagine the goal is to go do it again, right? No matter how tough that challenge is, that's the plan, right?
Yeah, it's kind of hard to not set that as, one of the goals, but I don't know. Part of it too, though, as a staff, we're all pretty level-headed when it comes to things like that. Like we're not getting beyond day 1 or 2. Like we're talking about how bad we're gonna suck when we come back. We're not, look at this national championship team coming through. But so much of it is just, I don't know, living within the controllables of what we do. And it's a big belief. It's not my original statement, but came from Charlie Sullivan at Springfield. But you can, as a team, even you can play the best match of your lives and lose that match in our sport.
Yeah.
Because that other team can have the match of their lives, and that's just how things go. It's not this pretty clean black and white. We lost more points than we won against Nebraska last year. Like you just got to win 3 games by 2. There's a lot that goes into, piecing together and building a season. So yeah, our goal is to finish as a national champion, but our goal is to, win match number 1 against Creighton. Like we gotta do little things to get there. And that was one of the things I thought last year's team did so well. They prepared for each match really well. They didn't get ahead of themselves. We were able to chunk the season and take peek your head up. Here's where we're at. And then boom, head back down and let's go for the next match. And so there was 5 really good leaders and seniors that kind of kept that tone and were able to back each other up. And it's not like that worked perfectly. We had road bumps, we had conflicts, we had all those things that happen. We had 2 road sweeps that were not close, and you could say embarrassing, or you can say, pivotal for people that at certain points needed maybe a wake-up call, or just a reminder of how hard it is to win and how hard it is to go into different places and compete at a high level every night. So we're fortunate to have the right balance. I mean, I'm calling 2 losses the right balance, but
I'd like that kind of balance. If I can pull off that balance, I'm gonna have a really good year.
Yeah. Right. Yeah, everybody would take that. As long as that second loss isn't your last one.
Yeah.
Amen to that. Amen to that.
And if you could indulge us a little bit, what are you looking forward to out of this upcoming season?
Probably what our team actually identity looks like. I mean, we lost 5 pretty important characters within the team, whether they were, Jess Merzick as a starter fixture of the lineup, or Quinn who came in and was a lot of the voice and the workhorse in the gym and would come in and serve, or Taylor, Cam, and just each brought like their own intensity or were the soft sided thing, but they really like kind of stranglehold the leadership group as like, hey, this is what we're doing our last year, and you're coming with us. And through the spring, there's no catalyst to really drive that out. And I think we have a lot of good leaders on the team, but none that have really expanded their role or like really let themselves be vulnerable to the critique that a leader gets quite yet. And I
Yeah.
think we'll need that, and those people will take that jump, but the spring doesn't force it, the summer doesn't force it. And so I'm excited to see kind of where that lands, because once you have your team identity, I think then you can start to know like how to coach them. Um, because they're gonna need something different than last year's group. And next year's team will need something different than this year's. But last year we had a goofy team. I think we're gonna have a goofy team this year, but like there was goofy balanced with, game time. They were still gonna kind of know what's going on. This year, are they goofy, but like actually do need to be forced to be more focused because they haven't had 5 years of playing experience. A lot of them had two, maybe three.
Yeah.
So
As a beach coaching podcast,
yeah.
we talk a little bit about like how men's indoor tends to lead the way for women's indoor, which tends to lead the way for beach volleyball. So it begs the question, without giving away all of your secrets for the season, what is kind of that next iteration? I think most recently we saw tighter setting on the indoor side, right,
Yeah.
leading to more of that play at the net. We've seen back row attack becoming a much bigger piece of it. The speed of the game has just increased a lot over the last couple of years. What's kind of the next step? What's the next iteration?
It'll be a reversion back to old school or something. I don't know. Um, yeah, it's funny. Like we spend some time with, those new things of the two-handed throws and one-handed throws, but for the most part, like we're like hit the ball. Hit the ball works more often because for our players, typically, like they haven't had the amount of reps to really try the throws and things and toolkits. And so yeah, we're having them set our players set tighter, and maybe a little more inside at times, depending on which pin or what arm we're setting to, right or left. But for the most part, it's more to like set up more range for them to hit the ball hard. It's a lot harder to defend these deflections and things, and we haven't, yet. I'll throw yet in there. We haven't played a team that like killed us on their tips and throws. Like that's definitely been a thing in the men's game. I think you also deal with a little bit more hang time in the men's game. Um, Depending on what level in the men's game, indoor wise too, like the defending isn't as trained of like getting the floor. Like a lot of times our girls will read a throw and they're like there and they're used to making floor moves. Like it just hasn't, I don't, to me, it hasn't shown up as being as effective in the women's game yet. It's here and there and it's spotty. I don't know. Really, I think just maybe more pace serving, more teams getting on board with like taking the men's approach of being a little more risk taking with their serve and being willing to miss some more to get teams off the net. Because as teams do get faster and more efficient, if you can get them to the 10-foot line, setters get less accurate, setters get more predictable. So at least from a scouting perspective, maybe taking a little more aggressive serving take than they would have maybe in the past. But yeah, nothing too great. I send our girls though like all the time. Like I'll send them the Almond Helbig stuff. And the things that they're doing. It was just like, hey, go try this or go mess around. There's a lot of great stuff on like reels for me, TikTok for them, of like, hey, just go mess around. Cause like I do actually want their brains to be thinking outside of the box of like, you're gonna be stuck in a situation where you're too tight, the ball's behind you, whatever it is, like to have the awareness to say, okay, I'd stick my hand out and I can go behind my head here. Or just do different things. It's like I don't necessarily want to spend a ton of time training it because I don't want them to be overthinking. Like hit the ball, don't hit the ball. Like not I'm going to approach this ball on double hand throw because right now that's not an automatic response. But like maybe if you're playing and you're doing stuff in short court or whatever with it, then it comes out. But fun story, actually. I coached Almond's older sister, Fonnie, at American.
Danny, yeah.
Yeah, she was fun.
She went and played beach at Corpus after that.
Yeah.
So she's been around a ton.
Yeah.
Hear me out. I want to throw this out your way, right? Setter takes the free ball,
Yeah.
and you go on two.
Sure.
Like don't let your libero take it anymore. Make your setter take it and just chuck that ball over. Like all three hitters should be ready to go, right? They see the free ball coming. She can set any of them. That's my big pitch.
Yeah, we messed around with it a little bit. Yeah,
Yes.
haven't probably spent as much time as you should, but we also have, like, especially now, we've got Kennedy on the right, CJ, Emmy on the left, like Karis and Lexi Ewing too. Ewing I haven't even seen yet. Her first practice is this Friday with us technically, so we're gonna get to see that as well. But we have big enough arms that probably do better with just give me a high ball and let me max out and swing. But we worked on that when I was at JMU actually, and it was a ball control drill that we'd run to manage swings and then try to get it competitive at the end. But it's fun. I mean, it goes in that column of like, why not?
Yeah.
Again, like it's trying to break our players' brains of like, this is what you do in this situation all the time, and then letting them be on the same page with it. But we don't spend a ton of time on it. It's fun to toy around with. But I think too, like if we're playing a team we know that does that, like you're not gonna beat us on it. I forget, shoot, someone did. Like Creighton.
Oh,
Creighton would do that a lot. They'd set their middle on a two ball. And we had a scout, I think they ran it on us twice, hit one out of bounds, and I think we dug the other. And so it was one where like you could with okay scouting, you could take it out. But they were also one dimensional with it. They set the same person. So
yeah. I think Kennedy Martin can probably be pretty athletic and probably accomplish some tasks with a normal offense. So,
but again, that's what I mean. Yeah, you got to coach to what your team is, and it changes every year.
Yeah.
I got one more question for you before we let you go. You've gotten to accomplish a lot in the volleyball world, but something for all sports fans is you got to attend the ESPYs this past year and kind of see what that whole show and production is, and also get to meet some people. Could you just talk about that experience a little bit and what that meant to not only Katie, but you guys and the team and just being there?
We were really fortunate to get to go. It was the three assistants from last year's team, our 5 seniors that had graduated, and then Katie's 2 brothers, her sister, her mom, her husband, her 3 kids, and then all of her spouses, significant others. And we had this massive group. And so it was great to be with everybody because we get to see them all throughout the year and just kind of actually take one of those like deep breath, like reflective looks at what the season actually was. They being the ESPYs, but also the V Foundation did like such an incredible job of making it feel special the whole way through. And so there's like a whole reception lounge of like drinks, food, and then like free giveaway stuff. So I came home with like, I don't know how much with the dollar value it would be of what I've got, but like for sure over $1,000 worth of like free giveaway stuff, which was
nice.
That's awesome.
No complaints here. That was really cool. And then you're walking around, and so you're seeing Shane Gillis and Pat McAfee's filming his show.
Oh, hold on, your audio just cut out. Shoot,
Michael, you're ruining it.
My audio.
Yeah,
sorry, Michael
cut out
Hobson's
for a second, but it's
not...
back now.
You're back.
I heard Pat McAfee, and that's where you cut out.
Definitely something switch.
We can hear you now.
Yeah, you should be good.
Can you hear me now?
Yep.
Okay, and I can hear you. I don't know why that switched, but I think I was saying I'd met Kurt Herbstreit, and I spent almost the whole evening with Will Howard from Ohio State and his girlfriend. They were so awesome. Like they treated us like we were friends, and so now I consider us all friends. But they declined entry into like the after party because they were with us, and they were like, "Hey, no, we're gonna hold it down with the volleyball crew here instead of going like." You guys should really go in there. Like that'll be fun. You get to, because I mean, to a certain degree too, they were similar to us. Like they're not used to running in these circles yet. Like this is all like rubbernecking at people going by and that sort of thing. I will say that most of the real big name celebrities came through different entrants or came through way later on the red carpet. So we got our experience and had a ball with it, but it wasn't like we were mixed in with everybody's on it. But I mean, I thought they did a really nice job with Katie's video. Thought she nailed her speech. But that video started and like our whole row is the 5 seniors, assistants, her sister and brother-in-law, and like it was just all crying. Like it was luckily they put us in the back row of like the lower level, and so like nobody's behind us, but like we're wiping our eyes constantly for like the first minute and a half until finally like I think we ran out of some tears or caught our breath. But yeah, I mean, like we hadn't seen the video that they showed of her on the couch, and that stuff's going on, but the vision of it is a reality to something you live through and something you're a part of. But I don't know, in the moment, she was very much of now focus is the team, the next match, the next practice, and things are going to continue as normal. And whether I can make it to practice or not, things are going to go on as normal. And so we did literally approach it that way. Like we had the initial tears when she told us, and then it was kind of business as usual and picking up some slack or doing whatever we could to make it functional so that she could be there, not have to worry about certain things or whatever. So it got very automated emotionally for us.
That is a really cool story, and I really appreciate you jumping on with us, and good luck this season, and hopefully we can go back to back now.
Thank you. Yeah, we'll see. I appreciate you guys. Thanks.